Hey everybody, Mrs. Golson here. How is everybody feeling? Hopefully you had a nice day off. I am re-recording this video because I have recorded this video about 3 times and couldn't upload it due to technical difficulties. So now I am re-recording it. So stay with me. Depending on your score for this original assessment, you're going to have a different job. So if you had 100% on this assessment, you're definitely going to have a different job than somebody who, let's say, had a 43%. Just depending on the range of your score, you're going to have a different task. So let's get into it because I have about 14 minutes left. Let's start. All right, so it says Diamond used a number line to add. She started counting at 10, and then she counted until she was on the number -4 on the number line. If Diamond is modeling addition, what number did she add to 10? Use the number line below to model your answer. So I am going to use this number line to model. So first, she started at 10. So this is the starting point. And she kept counting until she was on -4. So let's just draw a line, stopping point, going to -4. So that's her stop point. All right. It says, if she is modeling addition, what number did she add to 10? Use the number line below. So I am going to count to see how many jumps it's taking me to get from 10 to -4. So let's count our jumps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I got 14 jumps. And since we went to the left indicates negative. So what number did she add to negative, or what number did she add to 10? She added -14 because remember she went to the left. Okay, so let's see. Let's scroll down. Okay, so it says, so the problem or the equation that she used to model this problem should be 10 plus -14 equals -4. I'm going to erase that. I don't need a parenthesis. Any parentheses. There we go. So that's the equation. Didn't ask for that, but that's important to know. So it says write a real world story problem that would fit the situation in number 1. So it's depending on what you want your problem to be about. What I tell people when they're modeling integers, easiest problems are sports, money, temperature, weight loss, weight gain, things like that. So I'm going to use temperature. So I'm just going to write early. Let's get a thinner pen here. All right, there we go. Early morning. The temperature, I'm just going to put the temp was 10 degrees. It got windy and dropped. That word dropped indicates my negative. Dropped 14 degrees. Please don't say dropped -14 degrees, because if it dropped a negative, remember, that's an increase. Taking away bad, that's an increase. That's an improvement. So the word dropped means that 14 is negative. So it got windy and dropped 14 degrees. What is the temp now? And then your answer could be -4 degrees. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3 says write down additive inverses to fit the equations below. Additive inverses, remember, those are opposite numbers. So it says D, but you did not have to do that. I'm going to get a different color. All right, so we can have things like 6 plus -6 equals 0. 50 plus -50 equals 0. And I like rational numbers, so we could do -2.5 plus 2.5 equals 0. So there we go. All right, here's number 4. 22 plus negative 12. Well, different signs. Remember, if I'm adding integers that have different signs, I'm going to subtract those absolute values. So I'm going to do the absolute value of 22 minus the absolute value of negative 12, which is 22 minus 12, and that's going to give me 10. And think about that. You had 22 positives and only 12 negatives. So there's not enough negatives to cancel out those positives. So you still have positives. Same instance for number 5, 12 plus negative 9. So I'm going to take the absolute value of 12, which is 12. I'm going to take the absolute value of negative 9, which is 9, and I'm going to subtract them. So 12 minus 9, and that gives me 3. That's number 5. All right, same thing for number 6. Number 6, 103 plus a negative 261. So, different signs, subtract the absolute values. Got to have the larger absolute value first because I'm not going to do 103 and then take away 261 from that because I'm going to have a negative. And the point is to make this able to be done in my head. I'm going to subtract those absolute values. So 261, I'm just going to say the absolute value of negative 261 minus the absolute value of 103. That's going to be 261 minus 103. And some of you I saw doing this, which you should do. That's your scratch work on the side. See me doing that borrowing. 11 minus 3, that's going to be 8. 5 minus 0 is 5. 2 minus 1 is 1. So this answer is 158. But this team here has a larger absolute value. So my answer needs to be negative 158. Because there's more negatives than there are positives. Now we're carrying these same rules into fractions, rational numbers for number 7, mixed numbers. So this is negative 3 1/3. I rewrote it on your quiz so it wasn't set up like this. I had rewritten it like this for you. Plus 4 1/5. So now I'm taking the rules that I used for 4, 5, and 6 and I'm going to apply it to number 7. So different signs, subtract the absolute values. So my first step, I am going to take these mixed numbers and turn them into improper fractions. That's my way. Not the only way, but that's my way. So this is really 3 times 3 plus 1. This is really negative 10 thirds. I am just converting into a mixed number, or into an improper fraction, I'm sorry. So negative 10 thirds plus, so 5 times 4 is 20, plus the 1. Sorry, you can't see all of that. That's going to be 21 over 5. So 21 over 5. Now I'm going to find my common denominator, which I know is 15. So I'm going to write 15s here. I'm going to do a plus, and I am going to do the multiplication to make my equivalent fraction. So I know that 3 times 5 gave me this 15. So 10 times 5 will be 50. So I'm going to, since this is negative, because this negative belongs to this 10, this is going to be negative 50 15ths, because I am making an equivalent fraction to 10 thirds, okay, which is negative 50 15ths. Same deal here. I say how many 5s go into this 15. So this is 3, and whatever I do to the bottom to keep it equivalent, I do to the top. So 21 times 3 is going to give me 63. So now I got common denominators, check. I got regular improper fractions, check. No more mixed numbers. Now I am going to treat the top just like integers, because I know my denominator is 15. So I'm going to look at 60 and negative 63, and negative 53 and add them. So different signs subtract the absolute value. So the absolute value of 63, 63. Absolute value of negative 50 is 50. 63 minus 15, that is, or 63 minus 50, that is 13. So your answer is 13/15. All right, here's number 8. Number 8 is subtraction. The rule for subtraction: keep change opposite, because subtraction is addition. You're just adding the opposite. So this problem is really 103 plus 218. And I'm just going to set up my vertical addition. All right, so 8 and 3, that makes 11. 1 and 1, that makes 1. 2 and 1, that makes 3. So my answer to this is 311. Because taking away a negative is the same as adding. Taking away a negative is the same as adding. We learned that when I take away negatives, when I play the integer game, my score does nothing but go up. So that's why that's that. All right, last one, number 9. Negative 2 1/2. Let's do a rewrite. All right, so here we go. Negative 2 1/2 plus negative 1 1/5. All right, so I'm going to do the same process that I did for number 7. And I'm going to make these improper fractions first. Make sure I keep the signs intact. I got to keep them negatives sitting there. Keep them sitting there. So here we go. Let's do it. So 2 times 2 plus 1. That is going to be a negative 5/2. And I'm going to add. I'm going to do 5 times 1 plus 1. That's going to be 5/6. Keep the negative. That's going to be 6/5. Okay, when you're going from improper, or when you're going from mixed to improper, you do not have to do like 5 times negative 1. You know, you're treating that part as it's positive, and then you're going to put the negative sign back in front of the fraction when you're switching from mixed to improper. Common denominator time. Common denominator looks like it's going to be 10. So I'm just going to go over here. Just make denominators of 10. Keep these negatives right by the numerators. All right. So how many 2's are in 10? 2 times 5 gives me this 10. So I'm going to do 5 times 5. That's 25. Keep it negative. Negative 25 plus, get some parentheses. Excuse me if it's sloppy. All right, so 5 times 2 gives me this 10. So I need to do this 6 times 2 to get the new numerator, and that's going to be 12. I got a negative symbol already there. Now treat these as if they are integers. So 25 plus, or negative 25 plus negative 12. They are both negative. So that means I can just put them all together, because if it's 25 negative people on the left side of the room, then 12 negative people on the other side of the room, how many negative people in the room? Just add them all together, and it is negative 37. So this will be negative 37 tenths. Now we got to put that back into mixed number format. How many 10s go into 37? Because remember, this is nothing but a division problem right here. There are 3 10s in 37, so this is negative 3, and there's 7 left over, 7 tenths. How did I get that? By doing negative 37 divided by 10. All right, this video just made it in time. You will have your task to do this tomorrow in math. And peace. Welcome back from spring break, y'all. Now we don't got that much long to go. Bye.